welcome to a new build series. Officially, I'm way too busy, but with this one, I couldn't say no. What we have to do, I'll show you. Well, this is the engine bay of the car. As you can see, no engine. What's wrong? No engine. We gotta fix that. Some cables and stuff like that that I still need to sort out when the engine is still out. Here we have the heater and stuff like that. But this is an Opel GT, as you have seen. Oh, something's falling. So we're gonna take the hood off to make it a lot easier and put this engine in there, the original 1900S. The owner already made it shiny and stuff, so that's not up to us. Then we go here. And we have a lot of parts. So we have to get to work. Let's start with getting the hood off. Well, we have a gearbox. That's good. We have the transfer, not the transfer case, the engine mount in this car. I forgot it was separate from the suspension, or most of it separate. Exhaust, carburetor, a lot of parts, a lot of parts, a lot of parts. You've just seen the engine, that's way back there. There's a radiator still in the car and some minor stuff, but first we're gonna start with this. Get the engine in, get the gearbox in, at least that it's mounted, because I don't have that much space. So I put it forward a little bit underneath the other project that I can't film, sorry. So yeah, can do it, stay up here. Yeah, good, now it can stay up. So let's get the hood off, get the engine in. Whew. It's heavier than I thought. Oh yeah, of course, don't forget the battery is over there. It's been a long time since I touched one of these cars, and I really love them. So let's get working. So first we're gonna clean up the floor a little bit, change the cars. The one on top is almost done, waiting for a few parts, and so this one can go up, get the engine in, get the gearbox in, drive shaft, brakes, and make it running, and then take it for a drive and give it back to the owner. So now we're making sure that we have points to lift up the engine, put it on that frame. Then gearbox is after. I just in doubt if I put it on and then in the car, or just first engine then gearbox, because we have this much space. Front axle. So as you can see, I get stuck on the steering shaft here for the ignition. Two ways: unbutton the ignition or steering shaft, I decided to do both because the starter is right there in that corner. Focus! There, and it's already touching. And the inlet manifold is already touching too. So we're gonna go back up, loosen the steering shaft, which I just dropped the bolt from, get the ignition out, and get the inlet manifold off. Then we can drop it again. So back up, take two. So we made it a little bit smaller. I didn't get this one out, and I don't want to break stuff about it, but here we have a lot more room. So let's try again. As I hoped, it fitted through. A little bit scary, and I pulled it a little bit forward already, so it's on top of it now. But yeah, that's because we don't have the space right there. Now we're gonna put the thing over the fenders here and pull it further up and forward. So it's a little bit higher than supposed to be, but it's easier with the transfer engine mount holder that's going here. This and this is what you need to get an engine in an Opel GT when you're alone. Whew. It's in the car. I have a strap on the back, as you can still see, to hold it because it's falling backwards, and I don't want that to happen because of the firewall and the electrical wire and stuff that's behind it. So now we're gonna look at the transmission, if we can get it in. But first we're gonna put this steering rack back because, well, we had to loosen it to put it in. So that's job one. Then bolt check on the engine, and then do transmission, and the rest is for tomorrow. All the steering bolts back in. So here we have a gearbox, and that's the space it should go into. The funny thing is, I thought I lost the gearbox mount that's supposed to be here, but I found it after I bought a piece of metal to make one. So that's great. A little bit of less time that we need to put in. And in case you're wondering why I stopped, I forgot something. Gearbox is in, so we can stop with the mounts up top. I thought my camera was filming, but apparently it wasn't. So next step, I want to get the inlet and exhaust back in on the engine this time. And I'm seeing a wire, which is that one, I guess, but that's so I have to fix that. And then alternator in, and then we're getting to the fun stuff. Radiator in, battery in, and get some pulleys on here. Oh, this one is stuck. Oh, bollocks. See if we can get that loose. Bollocks. Then oil filter, stuff like that. Make everything working. Spark plugs, wires, everything that needs to be done. And then we're gonna check the brakes. when everything is in and wired up and maybe even starting. So we got the water pump out because, as you can see, it's stuck and doesn't want to go any further. I already cleaned it up a little, but it's really stuck. So we're gonna order a new one, hard words, and go from there. So of course we need to clean the front of the engine because, well, this is very dirty. And I get a new gasket, which is still painted on there, kind of. Nice to see that the engine is nice to see, but not really working out like this. So we got to do that. As you can see, the alternator is on. It's a bigger alternator than the original, so had to modify it a little bit, but it's working. It's spinning freely. Close, but it's spinning freely. And now we can go to cables on this side. Wait for the water pump to come in. If cables are done. So still lots to do, and after we get the water pump, radiator can go in. And we need a small mount for the battery because I'm looking everywhere for it, but I can't find it. So let's get back to work. Couldn't get it any cleaner than this, and also it needs a flush anyway, so I'm not gonna be too hard about it. I'm gonna add the new water pump and put the bolts in, put the
belt on there. Jesus, I had to think about that. Put the belt on there, and then yeah, let's start reassembling the cooling system. And I've been looking forward to that, so let's go.
As you can see, I put the fan on, spinny, and pretty straight spinny, so that makes me happy. So, belt on, radiator in, get some coolant hoses done, and then we go to the other side to start with ignition and wires and stuff like that, fuel lines. So we have all the brake lines connected. This one is stuck, so I think I need new brakes. The pushers. I don't know the English word right now. Drum brakes and then the squishy things. Apparently I need those. Drive shaft is in, which is also great. Very easy job on these because it's just a slip in, and that's a pretty good thing. Gearbox fully installed, only the clutch cable because that's stuck somewhere there. But then I found out that all the bolts, wait a minute, all the bolts of the exhaust manifold are broken, like really all of them. So I can get the inlet and exhaust out of there again and let them drill new holes, tap new bolts and stuff. Oh, pooh. So yeah, that's where we're at right now. So here are the broken bolts I was telling you about for the exhaust, which set me a little bit back, but I have a friendly neighbor, so he's gonna fix it for me. And this is before. My neighbor just brought this back. He was afraid to drill here because it's very close to the edge and it's not really strong material, and he didn't want to break it, so we get this off, make it flat again, and then very easy, we put it back in and start building again and again. So yeah, this must be really your hobby, to put stuff in and out of a car like 10 times, even when it's original but old. Don't forget that. So let's start with that. So it's starting to look like a car again. Radiators in, of course. Inlet manifold is in for, I hope, the last time. Water hoses are connected. Temperature switch is connected. The ground cable that I forgot there is connected. Hoses connected. So as you can see, the belt is on, which is a little bit of a fight, but it's on there and it's tightened. So we can get the plastic cover here back and then go to carburetor, and if the carburetor is on, except for the air filter and stuff, I think this side is done. And the exhaust, but that's from underneath, so let's do that. Next step, we're gonna do the brake cylinders, drum brake cylinders. Just, is it necessary? You never know until you get to the brakes, but I want to do them just to make sure that the car is safe to drive again. And yeah, well. So we got the new one in. Everything is nice and shiny. The new parts, of course. But we're gonna try and get it centered a little bit less, so it's narrower, because this one was stuck, and I'm not sure if it were these things, brake cylinders or not. So let's see what happens. Now we're gonna clean the front ones. 2 pins in here, kick them out, get the spring out to hold the pads in, get the pads out, and yeah, clean it up a little. WD-40 and some brake cleaner, and clean up the discs a little with WD-40. Yeah, it's wrong, but it works, I know. So yeah, let's get to it. See, we got them out. A little bit harder than I thought. Pushed back the pistons, which did go very easily, which I'm very happy about. So we can clean it up. I put some brake cleaner on it, start on the other side right now, and then just yeah, well, still thinks it's not completely in, but we will see. And then we're gonna put back the pads in. They look great. Or great. Usable, fine for now, that kind of stuff. Clean up the pins and everything. And then yeah, put some fluid to it. Let's go. Batteries on. Did some stuff behind the scenes, like ignition, fixed the alternator and the starter. Some small stuff like brakes, bleeding and stuff with all the fuzzy noise. Interesting enough. I didn't know if I left the key on ignition or not. And right now I hope not. Let's see. Oh, key is in my pocket. Wrong key. Here we have the right key. Let me make this a little bit easier for myself. Get in the car. Doesn't do anything. That's bad. That's really bad.